Golden Blue Dude here with you again. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I make videos every single day, sometimes multiple videos, just like yesterday when it's an active day, or what kind of mood I'm in. So, if you don't like this video, maybe you'll like one of my other videos. So the Big 12 has released conference schedules. Now, I'm not 100% sure about the one out of conference game yet. They're saying it's still on the schedule, but that's not 100%. Nothing is 100%. But Big 12 play is supposed to begin at the end of September. So they have pushed it a little bit, and it could get pushed again. But I wanted to go ahead and give y'all West Virginia's schedule and put out some bold and maybe insane predictions out there. So first of all, let's go through West Virginia's schedule. We get Eastern Kentucky at home, then at Oklahoma State, home against Baylor, then a bye week, home against Kansas, at Texas Tech, home against Kansas State, at Texas, home against TCU, another bye. They're doing 2 bye weeks. Home against Oklahoma, and then at Iowa State. So here's my prediction, my updated prediction for West Virginia. This is one of my bold predictions. I do think West Virginia either goes 7-3 or 6-3, depending on if we get to play Eastern Kentucky. I had us at 6-4, but after this new schedule, I think we could hit 7 wins if we get Eastern Kentucky. So here are the wins that I have for West Virginia. And as part of my bold prediction, I guess you could call it a 2-1. Pay attention. I actually think we sweep the home slate. Eastern Kentucky, win. Baylor, win. Kansas, win. Kansas State, win. TCU, win. And here's that tie-in to the second bold prediction. Oklahoma is a home game, and I'm calling it. It's going to be a win. And we also get a road win against Texas Tech. So yes, I do have West Virginia going at minimum 6-3, and that's if we don't get to play Eastern Kentucky. So moving on from West Virginia, I have some other bold predictions. The next bold prediction is Oklahoma will not make the Big 12 championship this year. I have Oklahoma having 3 losses. I think they lose to West Virginia. I think they lose to Iowa State. And I think they lose to Texas. That segues into my next bold prediction. It's going to be Iowa State versus Texas in the Big 12 championship. So I'm going to run through Iowa State's and Texas's schedule and let you know how I think they'll end up, who they win, and who they lose to. I have Iowa State either going 9-1 or 8-1, depending on if they get to play South Dakota at home. So we'll count that in and say 9-1. But you get what I'm saying. Next up, at TCU. I think that's a win. Home against Oklahoma. I think that's a win. I think they also upset Oklahoma. Home against Texas Tech, an easy win. And then here's their one and only loss, at Oklahoma State. I do think they lose there. At Kansas, win. Home against Baylor, win. Home against Kansas State, win. At Texas, that's a big one. I think they win. And then home against West Virginia, I also think they win. So let's switch over to Texas. I think Texas either goes 8-2 or 7-2, depending on if they get to play either South Florida or UTEP at home. So let's count one of those in and say they go 8-2. After that, at Texas Tech, win. Home against TCU, win. And then that neutral game, which I don't know if it'll be neutral or whatever, against Oklahoma, I think Texas gets that win this year. Home against Baylor, win. At Oklahoma State, loss. Home against West Virginia, win. At Kansas, win. Home against Iowa State, another loss. That's their second loss. At Kansas State, win. So you might be asking, well, why don't you have Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship? Well, I think they trip up in other places. I think Oklahoma State, I think they'll lose to Oklahoma. I think they could possibly lose to Kansas State or TCU. Oklahoma State, they're going to have some upsets against Iowa State and Texas, or it could go the other way around. For some reason, I can't put Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship, which is crazy because I can put Iowa State and Texas. So I have Iowa State versus Texas in the Big 12 championship, and my last bold prediction: Iowa State will win the Big 12 championship this year. I think their schedule sets up nicely. I think they are loaded this year. I think if there's a year for Iowa State to do it, this is the year. I know it's during a pandemic. A lot of weird things happen, so I'm calling it. This is the year Iowa State wins the Big 12. And if they don't, it's not good because this is the year. Everything has come together. They are loaded on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to stick with it. And let's see if this video ages well or if I fall flat on my face. That's all I got for you today. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on my next show.